Well, are the LA Chargers working on a new draft trade? We've heard all about, of course, the Vikings coming up to 5 for 11 and 23 or whatever it is. And that one's just, it's been talked about so much. I just feel like it's not going to happen anymore. So we talk about that premier trade right in the first round, but what about in the second round? And that's where we find a new trade that's just pure genius. If you're an LA Chargers fan, you'd be super excited about it. If you're new to the channel, we're Detroit Lions fans, but we have this channel all about the LA Chargers, gives you an unbiased look into your team. We started it because we love Jim Harbaugh. We're here in Michigan, and so we followed him out to LA. Okay, let's take a look at this trade and just let me know your thoughts in the comments. It would be LA Chargers trading with the Rams. So the Rams get to come all the way up to 37. They get a premier early second round pick. In exchange, the Chargers get 52, 83, and 196. Now, we did a video about this a couple days ago where we looked at the depth of this draft, and we pulled up some PFF ultimate guide and ultimate draft guide, and it shows different players that are third, fourth, fifth round guys that are very good. And their production, and they might not be like these headline players, but when you kind of peel back and just kind of look at it analytically, and of course use PFF, which is just fun to kind of look at, you'll see that this draft is like super super deep. And so if you look at it, here's an example. You look at the five PFF did a 5 most underrated draft prospects, and I wanted to highlight a couple. Wide receiver Troy Franklin. Now we talked about how, or we know that wide receiver is a huge need. Got to have some better wide receivers on the team. There's no question about that. But when you look at it, Brian Thomas Jr. is the consensus wide receiver 4 in this draft, and he's really good. While Franklin is ranked 4 spots below that and 21 spots lower overall on the consensus board. However, the last 2 seasons in similar roles, Franklin has been the more productive player. So you're starting to look at a guy here that, because it's so deep at wide receiver, at quarterback, at corner, you've got a guy now in the second, third round, maybe, that you look at Troy Franklin and it's like, all right, we got the 8th best wide receiver. Well, no, right? You got a guy that's like, he's averaging 3.3 yards per route in 2023, more than half a yard higher than Thomas. He's a deep threat. He's got Franklin dealt with quarterback significantly less inclined to take those deep shots in Bo Nix. Thomas had Jaden Daniels. It's fair to say that Franklin hasn't been the most well-rounded receiver in the game, and wonder how that translates to the next level. But same criticisms apply to Thomas. And while LSU product did run a faster 40, 4.3 to 4.4, both players displayed high-level NFL speed. Franklin is a fringe first-round player, but his draft stock should be higher than that. So, see, I disagree with. I think that's where he should be picked, but because of the depth of wide receiver and the other positions, you're going to get a really good wide receiver late in the second round, third round, maybe. And Troy Franklin may not be the guy, but my point is there's other guys that could fall. Another one, look at Blake Corum. Everybody talks about him and just like the obvious Michigan connection. But Blake Corum's 2022 season, he was better than Bijan Robinson, graded out at a 96.2 PFF grade. And so what happened was he was just unreal in 2022. Then in 2023, he was great, but they just grinded him out. They just grinded games out with Corum. And so he was getting 2 yards, 3 yards, 7 yards, 10 yards, 4 yards. And it was just, they were loading up the box, and Michigan didn't care. They're just like, we're just still going to run it. We're going to get 4 yards a carry. And just, that's what we're going to do. And it was just, so the point is his 2023 was really good, but not great from a statistical standpoint. So you're looking at it, and I saw that where he's like the 4th best running back or whatever. It's like, no, you get this guy in the 3rd round, you're getting a Bijan Robinson type, not type of player, but a productivity type of impact player like a Bijan Robinson in Blake Corum in the 3rd round. So that's why this trade is the trade that they should be looking at. Not necessarily that, of course, that's going to get the stories and stuff, is that trading the 5th overall pick. But you get deeper into the draft, pick up these picks, pick up a 4th rounder, 5th rounder, and then use that to pick up these guys that are going to be there. Because if you look in this trade, they would then get the 52nd pick. Look at that. I mean, you got Keon Coleman, Roman Wilson, Chris Jenkins right in that 50 range. And then they would get 83. And you look at the guys that would be around there. Jaden Hicks, Cam Hart is a good one. Blake Fisher from Notre Dame. The Cade Stover tight end. I don't like him. Cameron Kitchens, safety. Michael Hall, defensive lineman. That's really good. So there's still guys as you get deeper and deeper into this draft. So I think this is the trade. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on this one because, by the way, Craig and I read your comments, almost all of them. We may not respond, but we try to read each one, and we learn a lot from you, especially as we get into this community and understand more about the Chargers and what they're up to, and try to just kind of understand the fan base. And it's been fun because we've asked questions like, who was your favorite player? Who got you into it? Eric Coryell. I mean, I knew it was a big deal, but the more that we talked to you guys in the community here on YouTube, it's like that was huge. That was huge. That was nobody was doing that stuff. Dan Fouts, man, I didn't even know Dan Fouts was like that good. I knew he was good. I'm like, oh, he's a good quarterback. Dude was unreal. Wide receivers were great. I was a big LaDainian Tomlinson fan. I thought he was outstanding. And we looked at some stuff on him and some of his stats, ridiculous. And that's what's cool about the all-time greats. They're ridiculous. You know Barry Sanders was good. Like, especially in college. You ever YouTube Barry Sanders in college? It's unbelievable. Couldn't touch him. Every game, 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns. Kick returner, punt returner. That's what he was when he like his junior or his freshman year. Just kick return, punt return. Couldn't touch him. Thurman Thomas was ahead of him. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Also, I'd love to know who your college team is and who you root for college wise. And that's what's funny is a lot of Chargers fans or some or Oregon fans, right? With Justin Herbert, kind of followed him down. So we've kind of continued to follow Jim Harbaugh out to LA to see what he's going to do. Cause it's going to be so cool. He is so good at coaching football. And I don't quite understand it because he's a kind of a goofy guy, but he loves football and he knows it. And you're going to be physical and you're going to be disciplined. And it's just going to be hard. It's gonna be hard for teams to beat you. That's it. It's gonna be hard to win, but it's gonna be hard for other teams to beat you. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one.